Shabbat Tov, everyone. Welcome to week number 90 in our Tillis Tells Stories for Saturday Night WhatsApp group. I adapted and supplemented this story from the book Gutvach. I retitled it, Your Rebbe or Your Mother? A student of Rabbi Simcha-Bunim of Peshischa, let's call him Beryl, was attending his Rebbe's Torah lesson one morning when he suddenly felt strong hunger pains. He recalled he had not eaten breakfast that morning, but he decided anyway to persevere in his studies despite his discomfort. But then, one of the students asked a complex, penetrating question, and Rabbi Simcha-Bunim silently began to ponder this question. While his teacher was deep in thought, Beryl decided we have time to hurry home quickly to get something to eat. When the Rebbe was lost in thought, it usually took some time before he was ready to resume his lecture, and by then Beryl hoped he would be back. Rabbi Simcha-Bunim spent many years as a businessman and a pharmacist. He was a beloved disciple of the seer of Lublin and of the holy Yid, whom he succeeded. There are versions of the story that say the Rebbe in the story was the holy Yid, Rabbi Yaakov Yitzchak of Peshischa. Anyway, known as the Rebbe of Rebbes, Rabbi Bunim's major disciples included the Kutzker and the first Rebbes of Ger and Alexander. In any case, Beryl dashed home and asked his mother for some food, reminding her that he was in the middle of his lesson and would have to return immediately. But after preparing and serving the food, his mother asked him to bring down a box which he needed from the attic. Nervous about returning late, Beryl told his mother he had to leave right away. He felt pressure to get back in time to his class. As he hurried back to the study hall, though, he realized what he had done. How could he ignore this opportunity to fulfill the commandment to honor one's mother? He thought to himself, I learned Torah in order to fulfill it. How can I neglect this mitzvah when the opportunity is presented to me? If I were willing to risk being late for the lesson in order to satisfy my hunger, I should surely be prepared to take that chance to fulfill the commandment of honoring my mother. And he immediately hurried back to do his mother's bidding. As soon as the task was completed, he ran back to the study hall. To his relief, Rabbi Bunim was still engrossed in his thoughts. But then, as Beryl slid into his seat, the Rebbe looked up from his deep thoughts and promptly rose on his feet to greet his student. Noticing that the Rebbe had stood up, all the other Talmidim, all the other students also stood. Rabbi Simcha-Bunim then delivered his answer to the difficult question and asked everyone to sit down. Sitting down with them, he turned to Beryl and said, Now tell us everything that happened to you while you were gone. Beryl was quite bewildered by all of this. In trepidation, he related what had occurred. The Rebbe smiled and remarked, Until you came in, I could not think of a satisfactory explanation for our topic. But when you entered, the soul of the Talmudic sage Abaye accompanied you, and his holy presence emanated wisdom, which enabled me to resolve the difficulty. Now I understand what caused him to be here. Rabbi Simcha-Bunim went on to relate that Abaye, as the Talmud relates in Kedushim 32b, was an orphan from birth. His father died before he was born, and his mother in giving birth to him. And thus he never had the opportunity to fulfill the commandment to honor one's parents. Therefore, whenever anyone makes a special effort to fulfill this commandment, the soul of Abaye accompanies him.